Deep in the redwood forest of Northern California, where ancient trees stretched toward the sky, something moved beneath the shadows. The fog rolled between the trunks like ghosts. Most people avoided this part of the woods after dark. Under the largest redwood tree, something stirred. The ground rippled. Leaves rustled. And then, slowly, a golden python emerged from beneath the roots. The snake was enormous, at least 20 feet long, with scales that shimmered like coins. Its eyes glowed with intelligence. It moved with purpose, sliding through the undergrowth. When it reached a clearing, the python stopped. Its body began to shift and twist. The scales rippled and changed. And in one fluid motion, the python became a woman. She stood tall and breathtaking, wearing an elegant black designer dress. Her Louboutin heels gleamed. A Cartier watch sparkled on her wrist. Her dark hair fell in perfect waves, and her face could grace any magazine cover. In her hand, she carried a Louis Vuitton briefcase. The woman smiled, a knowing smile that held centuries of secrets. Without looking back, she walked confidently out of the forest. At the edge, a black Tesla sat waiting. The lights blinked as she approached. She slid inside, placed the briefcase on the passenger seat, and drove onto the highway. San Francisco's nightlife blazed with energy. Music poured from clubs. People laughed and shouted. The Tesla moved smoothly through the streets and stopped in front of an exclusive rooftop lounge called Elevation. She stepped out. Heads turned immediately. Nobody knew her, but everything about her screamed wealth and power. The bouncer unhooked the velvet rope without question. Inside, the rooftop lounge was spectacular. The San Francisco skyline glittered. Beautiful people danced and drank expensive cocktails. The DJ played something with a heavy beat. The mysterious woman walked to a VIP section and sat down gracefully. She placed her briefcase beside her. Security didn't question her. Waitstaff immediately came to serve her. Then something caught her attention. A man stood near the bar laughing with friends. He was tall and athletic with sandy brown hair and an easy smile. He wore a simple button-down and jeans. His name was Jake, a high school history teacher celebrating the end of the school year. The woman studied him carefully. There was something about his energy, his genuine laughter, his kind eyes. He looked innocent. Perfect, she thought. She reached for her briefcase. When she opened it, people nearby gasped. The briefcase was filled with cash, stacks of $100 bills. A woman at the next table grabbed her friend's arm. Oh my God, is that real? Nobody knew where she came from. But she didn't care about their stares. She took 2 thick bundles and walked directly toward Jake. Before he could speak, she started throwing money at him. Bills flew through the air like confetti. People screamed. Phones came out. Videos started recording. Who is she? That's real money. This is insane. Jake stood frozen as $100 bills rained down. His friend scrambled to grab cash, but Jake just stared at the woman. She made it rain for a full minute before returning to her seat. She closed her briefcase and sat down. Jake couldn't move. His heart pounded. Finally, his legs worked. He walked toward her table. When he reached her, she looked up with glowing eyes. "I've never seen you here before," Jake said, voice shaking. The woman smiled. "My name is Diana." Jake sat down without being invited. "I'm Jake. I teach history at Lincoln High." "A teacher," Diana said softly. "How noble." Then she asked the question that would change everything. "Will you marry me?" Jake's brain short-circuited. He laughed nervously. "I'm sorry. What?" "Marry me," Diana repeated, her voice steady. "We just met. You don't even know me." "I know enough. Some things are meant to be." Jake looked at the briefcase filled with more money than he'd make in 10 years. Diana opened a small velvet box. Inside was a platinum ring with a massive diamond. It caught the light and threw rainbows. People nearby started screaming. Phones pointed at them. "Is that real? She's proposing to him." Diana held out the ring and waited. Jake stared at it, then at her. His logical mind screamed. This was insane. But another part of him was saying yes. "Say yes, Jake." Diana's eyes locked onto his. And somehow, impossibly, he heard himself say it. Yes. The rooftop exploded with cheers. Diana slipped the ring onto Jake's finger. It fit perfectly. She stood and kissed him gently. Jake felt goosebumps. Her lips were cold, ice cold. Minutes later, Diana picked up her briefcase. "I have to go." Jake stood quickly. "Wait, I'll come with you." Diana stopped him with a gentle hand. "Not tonight. Tomorrow. Meet me here, same time." "You're leaving?" She touched his face softly. Her fingers were cold too. "Tomorrow," she repeated. Jake nodded, confused. Diana walked out carrying her briefcase. Everyone watched. Several people followed outside, but she got into her Tesla and drove away. She drove back to the forest. She parked deep in the trees, stepped out and locked the car. Immediately her body began to change. Her arms twisted, her legs merged, her skin rippled. The designer dress fell away like smoke. Within seconds she had turned back into the golden python. The massive snake slithered into the darkness, moving toward the ancient redwood tree. Her briefcase had vanished with the transformation. The forest swallowed her whole. But deep beneath the roots, something else stirred, something older, something watching. And tomorrow was coming fast. Jake didn't sleep that night. He sat on his apartment couch, staring at the platinum ring, watching it catch the light. His roommate Tyler came home around 2 a.m., drunk and loud. He found Jake sitting in the same position. "Dude, what's wrong?" Tyler asked. "I got engaged tonight," Jake said quietly. Tyler stopped and turned slowly. "You what?" "A woman proposed to me at elevation. I said yes." Tyler stared, then burst out laughing. "Okay, that's funny. What really happened?" Jake held up the ring. Tyler's laughter died. He moved closer, squinting. "Holy shit, is that real?" "I think so. You think so?" Tyler grabbed Jake's hand. "Dude, this is like a $50,000 ring. Who gave you this?" "A woman named Diana." "Diana who?" "I don't know her last name." "Where'd you meet her?" "Tonight, at the club." Tyler let go and stepped back. "You were telling me a random woman gave you a $50,000 ring and proposed?" "Yes." "And you said yes?" "Yes." Tyler ran his hands through his hair. "Jake, buddy, have you lost your mind? This is insane." "I know. But something about her felt right." "Felt right?" "Dude, you don't marry strangers who throw money at you." Jake knew Tyler was right. But none of that changed how he felt. "I'm meeting her tomorrow night. Same place." Tyler sat down heavily. "This is either the best thing ever, or you're about to end up on a true crime podcast." The next day dragged. Jake tried to grade papers, but couldn't focus. He went for a run, but couldn't stop thinking about Diana's face, her cold touch, her mysterious smile. His phone buzzed constantly. Friends from the club had posted videos online. They'd gone viral. Strangers were commenting, trying to figure out who Diana was. Nobody could find any information about her. By 9 p.m., Jake was dressed in his best clothes. He called an Uber to Elevation. When he arrived, the bouncer recognized him. "Hey, you're the guy from the video." Inside, people pointed and whispered. The bartender gave him a free drink. Women approached, asking about Diana, but Jake ignored them. He found a table and waited. She arrived at exactly 10 p.m. Diana walked in wearing a deep red dress. Her hair was styled differently, new jewelry. But her presence was the same, commanding, mysterious, impossible to ignore. Every head turned. Conversations stopped. Diana's eyes found Jake immediately. She walked toward him, and Jake stood up. When she reached him, she smiled. "Hello, Jake." "Hi," he managed. She kissed him on the lips this time. Her lips were still cold, but Jake barely noticed. His heart pounded too hard. They sat together. People nearby tried not to stare while absolutely staring. "I've been thinking about you all day," Diana said softly. "Same here," Jake admitted. "Good." Diana took his hand. Her skin was ice cold. "I want to meet your family." Jake's eyes widened. "Already? Why wait? We're engaged." "I should meet them." Jake's mind raced. His parents lived in Sacramento. They were good people who would lose their minds when they heard he was marrying someone he'd met 2 days ago. "I'll call them tomorrow," Jake said. Diana smiled. "Perfect." From across the lounge, 2 men sat watching. One was Marcus, Jake's ex-girlfriend's brother. The other was Marcus's friend Tony. "That's the woman from the videos," Marcus said, voice tight with suspicion. "Something's not right about her." Tony sipped his beer. "Let the man be happy. Nobody just shows up with that much cash. Something's off." But Diana seemed unaware. She focused entirely on Jake. After a while, Diana stood. "Come with me. I want to show you something." Jake followed her out. They got into her Tesla, and she drove through San Francisco's wealthy neighborhoods. The streets became quieter, more expensive. Diana stopped in front of a stunning Victorian house in Pacific Heights. The property was enormous, with a manicured lawn and glowing windows. She turned to Jake. "I bought this house." Jake's mouth went dry. "You what?" "I bought it. This morning. And I put it in your name." Jake couldn't breathe. "Houses here cost millions. 7.2 million. But I paid cash. You paid 7 million in cash." "For me?" "For us." Diana got out. Jake followed in a daze. She opened the door. Inside was even more beautiful. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a curved staircase. "This is ours," Diana said. "We can move in tomorrow." Jake leaned against the doorframe. His legs felt weak. "Diana, where did you get this money? What do you do?" Diana walked closer. Her eyes seemed to glow. "I have investments, family money." "It's complicated." "How complicated?" She touched his face. Her fingers were freezing. "Does it matter?" "We can have everything." Jake wanted to ask more. But when Diana kissed him, those thoughts melted away. "Say you'll move in with me," Diana whispered. And once again, Jake said yes. What Jake didn't know was that Diana wasn't going home with him that night. After she dropped him off, after she watched him walk inside, she drove back to the forest, back to the ancient redwood, back to her true form. Her body twisted and changed. The golden python slithered back into the shadows, disappearing beneath the tree's roots. Something was waking in that forest, something old and powerful and connected to Diana. And tomorrow was coming faster than Jake knew. Jake quit teaching on a Wednesday. Principal Morrison read his resignation letter with shock. "Jake, you've been with us 5 years. You're one of our best teachers. What happened?" "I'm getting married," Jake said. "And my fiancée has the means for me to not work. I want to focus on other things. You're making a mistake. A good career is important." "I know it sounds crazy, but I've never been more certain." That was a lie. Jake was terrified, but also exhilarated. The wedding happened fast. Diana hired the best planner in San Francisco. She rented the Fairmont Hotel's rooftop. She flew in flowers from Ecuador. She hired a live orchestra. She ordered a museum-quality cake. Jake's parents drove from Sacramento completely overwhelmed. His mother kept crying, unsure if they were happy tears or worried tears. "She seems lovely," his mom whispered. "But Jake, you barely know her." "I know, Mom, but it feels right." His dad was less diplomatic. "Son, this woman appears from nowhere, throws money around, and you're marrying her after a week? What's her family like?" That was the strange part. Diana had no family at the wedding, not a single relative. When Jake asked, she'd smile and say, "My family is complicated, they don't approve. I've cut ties." Jake wanted more information, but Diana would distract him, and the questions would evaporate. The wedding was spectacular. 300 guests, though Jake only knew 50. The rest were people Diana invited, though Jake never saw her talk to any of them. Diana wore a dress that cost more than Jake's college education. She looked stunning. When she walked down the aisle, gasps echoed through the crowd. Jake stood at the altar in his rented tuxedo, feeling like he was dreaming. They exchanged vows. Diana's eyes never left his face. Her hands were cold when they slipped on rings. When they kissed, Diana kissed with intensity that made Jake forget the 300 people watching. The reception was legendary. Incredible food, perfect music, endless champagne. People danced until midnight. Jake's college buddy Matt cornered him. "Dude, this is insane. Your wife must be loaded." "She's comfortable," Jake said carefully. "Comfortable? This wedding cost $500,000. What does she do? Investments? What kind?" "I'm not entirely sure," Jake admitted. Matt's expression shifted to concern. "You married her and don't know what she does?" Before Jake could answer, Diana appeared at his side. "Hello," she said to Matt with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "I hope you're enjoying yourself." Matt mumbled something and walked away. Diana squeezed Jake's arm. "Your friends ask a lot of questions. They're worried. They don't need to worry. I'll take care of you." The way she said it made Jake feel both comforted and uneasy. After the wedding, they moved into the Pacific Heights mansion. Jake walked through the house in a daze, unable to believe this was his life. Diana bought him everything. Designer clothes, a Rolex, a Mercedes G-Wagon. She opened bank accounts and transferred hundreds of thousands. "This is your money," she said. "Spend it however you want." His old friends started treating him differently. Some were happy, others seemed resentful. A few stopped calling. Tyler met him for coffee one afternoon. "Man, you're living in a different world now. But are you happy?" "Of course I am," Jake said automatically. "Are you, though? You gave up teaching. You barely see old friends. And your wife." "Dude, there's something off." "What do you mean?" Tyler leaned forward. "Nobody knows anything about her. I tried looking her up." "Diana what? What's her last name?" Jake realized he didn't know. Diana had never told him. "And nobody can find any trace of her," Tyler continued. "No social media, no business records, nothing. It's like she didn't exist before that club. Maybe she values privacy. Or maybe she's hiding something." Jake stood up, angry. "You're supposed to be my friend. Can't you just be happy for me?" Tyler sighed. "I am happy. I'm also worried." Jake left without finishing his drink. That night he tried talking to Diana. They were in their massive living room. "Diana, what's your last name?" She looked up, surprised. "Why do you ask?" "Because we're married, and I don't know." Diana smiled. "You can call me Diana Mercer now. That's your name. But what was it before?" Her smile faded. "I've cut ties with my family. That name doesn't matter, but I'd like to know." Diana walked over and sat on his lap, wrapping her arms around his neck. Her body was cold as always. "Why do you need to know? Does it change how you feel?" "No, but then let it go. Let the past stay in the past." And once again Jake let the question slip away. But that night, after Diana said she had to take care of business and left the house, Jake couldn't sleep. Diana drove back to the forest. She parked in the hidden spot, stepped out, and transformed. The golden python slithered through the undergrowth, returning to the ancient redwood. But tonight, something was different. Another snake was waiting, a smaller python, silver instead of gold. The two snakes faced each other. When they transformed, the silver python became a man with silver hair. "Sister," he said coldly. "Brother," Diana replied. "The elders are displeased. You've broken the covenant. You've married a human. I'm aware. When he discovers the truth, he'll either join us or be silenced. There's no middle ground." Diana's expression hardened. "I'll handle it." "Will you? Or have you grown attached?" "I haven't forgotten anything." "Then remember, the transformation can't be hidden forever. Eventually, he'll see. And when he does, you'll choose between him and our kind." The silver-haired man transformed back and disappeared. Diana stood alone under the ancient tree, her facade cracking. She'd thought she could have both worlds. But eventually Jake would see the truth. And when that moment came, everything would change. 3 months into their marriage, Jake started noticing the patterns. Diana left every single night. Always after 11 p.m. Always with some excuse. Conference call with Singapore investors. Emergency with Los Angeles properties. Business in Seattle. At first, Jake accepted these explanations. Diana was clearly successful. Of course, she had obligations. But certain things didn't add up. She never took luggage. She never looked tired. She never mentioned specific details. And most suspicious, she always returned by sunrise, looking exactly the same. Jake tried to be understanding. But late at night, lying alone in their massive bed, doubts crept in. One evening, Jake decided to follow her. He felt guilty thinking about it. Spying on your wife was a violation of trust, but the not knowing was eating him alive. That night, Diana kissed him goodbye at 11:30 p.m. "I'll be back before you wake up." "Where are you going?" "Vancouver." "Quick meeting. Drive safe." He waited 5 minutes, then grabbed his keys and followed. The streets were quiet. Jake stayed far behind Diana's Tesla, keeping his headlights off when possible. His heart pounded with guilt and excitement and fear. Diana didn't drive toward the airport or financial district. Instead, she drove north, out of the city, toward the dark expanse of redwood forest. Jake's confusion grew. What business could she have in the woods at midnight? When Diana turned onto a barely visible dirt road, Jake stopped. He couldn't follow without being spotted. He parked and sat in darkness. What should he do? Go home and pretend this never happened? Or follow on foot? Before he could talk himself out of it, he got out and started walking. The trees towered above him. The fog was thick. Every sound made him jump. After 15 minutes, he saw a light. He moved toward it carefully, staying low. What he saw made no sense. Diana's Tesla was parked in a clearing. Diana stood beside it, perfectly still, staring at an enormous redwood tree. Jake crouched behind a fallen log and watched. Diana raised her arms. She began speaking in a language Jake had never heard, something ancient that made the air feel heavy. Then she started to change. Jake watched in horror as his wife's body twisted and contorted. Her elegant dress fell away like smoke. Her skin rippled and became covered in golden scales. Her legs fused together. Her arms withdrew. Within 30 seconds, Diana was gone. In her place was a massive golden python, at least 20 feet long, with scales that glowed in the moonlight. Jake's brain couldn't process it. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. He was dreaming, but the cold sweat was real. The pounding heart was real. The terror was very real. The python slithered across the clearing and disappeared beneath the tree's roots. Jake stayed frozen for what felt like hours. When he finally convinced his legs to work, he ran. He crashed through the forest, not caring about noise, not caring about anything except getting away. Branches scraped his face. He tripped over roots. When he reached his car, he threw himself inside, locked the doors, and sat shaking violently. His wife was a snake. His wife was a monster. His wife wasn't human. Everything made sense now. The cold skin, the mysterious past, the strange disappearances, the lack of family, the impossible wealth. Jake started the car with trembling hands and drove home in a daze. He didn't remember the drive. He only came back to himself sitting on the couch, staring at nothing. What should he do? Call someone? Who would believe him? Call the police? And say what? Maybe he was insane. Maybe he'd had a breakdown. That made more sense than his wife being a snake monster. Jake was still trying to convince himself when he heard the front door open. Diana walked in at 5:47 a.m. looking perfect and human and normal. "You're awake early," she said, smiling. Jake stared at her. He wanted to scream. He wanted to run. He wanted to demand answers. But his throat was too tight. "Are you okay?" Diana asked, moving closer. "You look pale." When she reached out to touch his forehead, Jake flinched away violently. Diana's smile faded. Her eyes became sharp. Jake, what's wrong? Nothing. Bad dream. I'm fine. Diana studied him. Jake felt like prey being evaluated. Okay, she finally said. I'm going to shower. She walked upstairs, and Jake exhaled. He couldn't stay here. He had to leave. But as Jake stood to pack, he heard Diana's voice from upstairs. Jake, could you come here? It wasn't a question, it was a command. Jake's feet moved on their own, carrying him upstairs. When he reached their bedroom, Diana was standing in front of the full-length mirror, still dressed. There's something I need to tell you, she said softly. Jake's heart nearly stopped. She knew. Somehow she knew he'd followed her. Diana turned to face him. Her eyes had changed. They glowed with golden light. I was hoping to wait longer before this conversation, but I think it's time you knew the truth. Before Jake could respond, Diana's body began to change right in front of him. He watched his wife transform into the golden python. The snake swayed in front of him, eyes locked on his. And then it spoke. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you. I love you, Jake. That's why I chose you. Jake's legs gave out. He collapsed against the wall. What are you? He whispered. The python transformed back into Diana's human form. She knelt in front of him, unbothered by her nakedness. I'm a Naga, an ancient being, much older than you can imagine. My kind has existed for thousands of years. This isn't real. It's very real, and you've known, haven't you? Deep down, tears streamed down Jake's face. Why me? Because I've lived for 300 years. And in all that time, I've never felt what I felt when I saw you. So you bought me. I courted you. In the way my kind always has. Others have done this? Diana nodded. It's rare, but it happens. When it does, the human has a choice. What choice? Diana's expression became serious. You can stay with me and keep my secret. We continue our life together, and if I want to leave, Diana's eyes flashed dangerously. Then I let you go. But your memory will be altered. You'll remember a normal marriage that didn't work out. Those are my only options. Stay and live a lie, or leave and have my mind erased. There is a third option, but it's irreversible. What is it? Could become like me. Jake stared. Become a snake? A Naga? Yes. Through an ancient ritual, you could be transformed. You'd gain immortality, power, wealth. We'd be equals. Jake's mind reeled. I need time. Diana nodded. I understand. But Jake? Don't try to expose me. And more importantly, it would break my heart to silence you permanently. The threat was clear. Diana stood and walked to the bathroom. I'm going to shower. We have a dinner party tonight. Please be ready by 7 p.m. And she expected everything to continue normally. Jake sat on the floor, his reality shattered. His wife was a monster, and he had to decide what to do about it. Jake didn't go to the dinner party. He couldn't. How could he make small talk while his wife, his snake wife, played charming socialite? Instead, he called Tyler. I need to talk. In person. Now. They met at a 24-hour diner. Jake looked terrible, unshaven, bloodshot eyes, hands shaking. Tyler slid into the booth. Dude, what's going on? You were right. About Diana, about everything. Tyler leaned forward. What happened? Jake wanted to say, my wife is a 300-year-old snake monster, but the words wouldn't come. Diana's warning echoed. Don't try to expose me. She's not who she says she is. She's been lying about everything. Her business, her past, her family. It's all fake. I knew it. Tyler slammed his hand on the table. Is it illegal? Money laundering? If only it were that simple, Jake thought. I can't explain. But I need somewhere to stay while I figure this out. Tyler didn't hesitate. Of course. You can crash on my couch as long as you need. Thank you. I just need to grab things from the house when Diana's not there. When will that be? She leaves every night around 11:30, like clockwork. That night, Jake waited until Diana left, then quickly packed a bag. As he threw clothes in, he noticed something odd. In the very back of the closet was a small wooden box. Jake pulled it out. It was locked, but he popped it open with a paperclip. Inside were photographs. Very old photographs, on yellowed paper. The first showed Diana standing in front of the Golden Gate Bridge. But the bridge looked brand new, and Diana wore a 1930s dress. The second showed her in Victorian-era clothing. The third showed her in 1800s gold rush attire. Diana hadn't just been lying about her age. She'd been alive for over a century. Jake heard a sound downstairs. His blood turned to ice. Diana wasn't supposed to be back for hours, but he definitely heard movement. He stuffed the photos back, shoved the box in his bag, and moved to the bedroom door. Footsteps, coming up the stairs. Jake looked around frantically. 20-foot drop from the window onto concrete. He grabbed his phone and texted Tyler. She came back early. If you don't hear from me by morning, call the police. The bedroom door opened. But it wasn't Diana. It was a man tall, angular, with silver hair and eyes that glowed like Diana's. "Hello, Jake," the man said calmly. "My name is Damien. I'm Diana's brother." Jake pressed himself against the wall. "Stay away from me." Damien raised his hands peacefully. "I'm not here to hurt you. Quite the opposite. I'm here to warn you." "Warn me about what?" "About my sister." "She's told you what she is, I presume?" Jake nodded slowly. "And she's given you the three options. Stay and keep the secret, leave and forget, or join her kind. How do you know?" Damien smiled without warmth. "Because it's the same choice my kind has given humans for thousands of years. You're like her. A Naga, yes. And unlike my sister, I don't believe humans and Nagas should mix. It never ends well." "What do you want?" Damien pulled something from his pocket, a small vial filled with silver liquid. "A fourth option. One Diana won't tell you about." "What is it?" "A poison. Designed to kill our kind. One drop in Diana's drink, and she'll die within hours." Jake stepped back. "You want me to murder my wife?" "I want you to survive. Diana isn't the sweet woman she's pretending to be. She's a predator who's lived for 3 centuries by being ruthless. I can't kill her. Then you'll die. Or worse, you'll live forever as her pet, slowly losing your humanity until you don't remember what it was like to be human." Damien pressed the vial into Jake's hand. "Take it. At least you'll have the option." Jake stared at the vial. The silver liquid glowed. "How do I know this will work?" "Because I've used it before, on my own wife, a human woman I loved. When she discovered what I was, she tried to run. I couldn't let the council find out, so I made it quick, painless." Jake looked at Damien's face and saw genuine pain. "I don't want my sister to suffer. But I also don't want another human to disappear mysteriously." Damien moved to the door. "You have until tomorrow night. After that, it's too late." "What happens tomorrow night?" "The binding ritual. Once you consume her blood, the poison won't work. It'll be too connected to her life force." Damien started to leave, then stopped. "Whatever you choose, choose it fully. Humans who try to play games with Nagas always lose." Then he was gone, transforming mid-stride into a silver snake that disappeared into darkness. Jake stood alone, the vial in his pocket, and impossible choices weighing on him. Go home and pretend everything was normal. Then either drink Diana's blood and lose his humanity, refuse and likely die, or poison her and become a murderer. When he got back to the house, Diana was making breakfast. The smell of coffee and pancakes filled the kitchen. She smiled when she saw him. "Good morning. I was worried when I saw your note." "Just needed some air," Jake said. "And did it help?" "Not really." Diana set down her spatula and walked over. She wrapped her arms around his waist. Jake fought every instinct telling him to pull away. "I know this is hard, but tomorrow night, everything will make sense." Jake looked at her perfect face, her glowing eyes, her cold skin. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything." "How many others have there been?" "Before me," Diana's smile faltered. "That's not important. It is to me." She stepped back. "Why does it matter? How many, Diana?" Her eyes flashed with anger. 6. There were 6 others. Are you happy now? What happened to them? They made choices that led to consequences. Did you kill any of them? Diana's expression turned cold. Some, when necessary. When they threatened everything I'd built. At least she was being honest. "Are you going to kill me too?" Jake asked. "Of course not. Jake, I love you. More than I've loved any of them, but I'll stop being human. You'll become something better, stronger, eternal." "Eternal." Jake pulled away. "I want to be able to choose without a knife at my throat." Diana's eyes turned golden and dangerous. "There's always a knife at everyone's throat, Jake. Age, disease, accidents, death comes for all humans. I'm offering you escape. By becoming a monster. By evolving." Diana went upstairs. Jake was left alone with the vial in his pocket. 1 drop. That's all it would take. Could he do it? Could he actually kill Diana? His phone buzzed. "Tyler. Dude, are you okay?" Jake typed back. "I'm fine." I think. He wasn't fine, but what could he say? That night Jake barely slept. He sat in the guest bedroom researching Nagas online. Most was mythology, Indian and Southeast Asian stories about snake spirits. Some benevolent, some malevolent. All powerful. None mentioned how to kill them. Around 6 p.m. Diana knocked. "Dinner's ready. I'm not hungry. Jake, please. Come have dinner. Let's enjoy tonight." Jake opened the door. Diana stood there vulnerable and beautiful. "Okay, dinner." They ate in awkward silence. Diana had made pasta carbonara, one of Jake's favorites. "Can I ask you something?" Jake said finally. "Of course. Do you actually love me? Or am I just convenient?" Diana set down her fork. "I love you, Jake. As much as I'm capable of loving. But you have to understand, I've lived so long that love feels different for me. What if I choose not to go through with the ritual? Diana's grip on her wine glass tightened. Then I lose you too. Like all the others. But you'd let me go? She hesitated. I'd try. But the council might not. So I never really had a choice. You had a choice for months ago, when I proposed. You could have said no. But you wanted the money, the house, the lifestyle. She wasn't wrong. Jake had chosen this. After dinner, Diana disappeared to take a bath. Jake helped himself to wine. He was on his third glass when his phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Jake? It's Marcus. Jake nearly dropped his phone. Marcus? But you're dead? Not quite. Damien told me about you. About Diana's new husband. I had to warn you. Warn me. About what? That you can survive this. You can escape. But you have to be smart. How? Don't drink her blood tomorrow. Pretend to go through with the ritual. I'll create a distraction. While they're dealing with that, you run. I'll have a car waiting 3 blocks from your house. New identity, new life, everything you need. Why would you help me? Because I loved Diana once too. And I know what she becomes when love turns to possession. I promise. The line went dead. Jake sat in the dark kitchen, the vial in one pocket, his phone in the other. Tomorrow night, he would have to choose. The next day felt like waiting for execution. Diana transformed their bedroom into something between a spa and ancient temple. Candles everywhere, incense burning. Strange symbols drawn in gold paint. It's beautiful, isn't it? Diana asked. Jake stood in the doorway, nauseous. It's something. Tonight at midnight, we'll perform the ritual under the full moon. By dawn, you'll be transformed, connected. And there's no going back. No going back. But why would you want to? Jake's phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. Car waiting at 11:45 p.m., 3 blocks north. Black SUV. Don't be late. Another text from Damien. Have you made your choice? Jake ignored both. Around 5 p.m., Diana announced she needed to run an errand. I have to pick up final components for the ritual. I'll be back by 9. Please be ready. The moment her Tesla pulled out, Jake ran to his computer, searching for any information about breaking Naga bonds. He found nothing useful, just mythology and folklore. Stories of snake spirits who married humans and the tragic endings that always followed. His phone rang. Tyler, I'm coming over. You've been acting weird for days. Tyler, no, don't. Too late. I'm already in my car. Jake cursed. This was bad. 20 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Tyler stood there with a bag of groceries, beer, and pizza. Emergency provisions. Now tell me holy shit, what happened to your living room? The candles, the symbols, the ritual setup? It's an art installation, Jake said weakly. An art installation. Jake, are you in a cult? Before Jake could answer, he heard the garage. Diana was home early. You need to leave. Right now. I'm not going anywhere until Diana walked in and stared at Tyler with golden eyes. Who is this? Tyler, my friend. He was just leaving, but Tyler stepped forward. Actually, I'm not. Jake's been acting weird, and I want to know why. Diana smiled, not friendly. Jake, would you like to introduce us properly? Tyler, this is Diana. Diana, Tyler. Now, Tyler, please leave. Not until Diana's body began to shift. Just slightly. Just enough to show Tyler's scales beneath her skin, something reptilian in her eyes. Tyler stumbled backward, face going pale. What the fuck? Language, Diana said pleasantly. Diana, don't, Jake pleaded. He's my friend. Won't tell anyone what? Tyler's voice went up an octave. Diana fully transformed. One moment, a beautiful woman. The next, a 20-foot golden python filling their living room. As Tyler screamed, he tripped and crashed into a side table. Please don't hurt him, Jake begged. The python swayed, studying Tyler. That depends on him. Tyler was hyperventilating. This isn't real. It's very real. And now you have a choice. Keep this secret and live, or tell someone and die. I won't tell, I swear. Diana transformed back naked and unconcerned. She walked to Tyler and placed a hand on his forehead. Forget what you saw. Tyler's eyes went glassy. When Diana removed her hand, he blinked like waking from a dream. I should go, Tyler said, confused. Thanks for checking on Jake, Diana said sweetly. Tyler left in a daze. Diana closed the door and rounded on Jake. That was sloppy. I didn't know you could erase memories like that. There's a lot you don't know. Diana poured wine. This is exactly why the ritual needs to happen tonight. At 11 p.m., Diana called him upstairs. The bedroom was completely transformed. The bed was gone. In its place, a circular platform covered in cushions. Candles formed a perfect circle. Symbols glowed faintly. Diana stood in the center wearing a white ceremonial robe. She looked beautiful and terrifying. It's time to prepare. She handed him a matching robe. Jake's hands shook as he changed. This was it. Diana noticed his trembling. It's normal to be nervous. But on the other side of that fear is power. What if the ritual fails? It won't. I've done this before, with Marcus. Diana's expression darkened. Marcus refused at the last moment. Don't make the same mistake. But Marcus wasn't dead. He'd survived. He'd escaped. Could Jake do the same? Diana led him to the platform. She pulled out a ceremonial knife with an obsidian blade. When the clock strikes midnight, I'll cut my palm and you'll drink 3 drops of my blood. No more, no less. Then you'll cut your palm and I'll drink from you. The exchange creates the bond, and then you'll feel everything change. Your senses will sharpen. Your strength will increase. You'll feel me inside your mind. Jake's phone buzzed in his discarded jeans. Marcus confirming the escape car. 11:30 p.m. Diana closed her eyes and began chanting. The candles flickered. The symbols glowed brighter. Jake's mind raced through options. Go through with the ritual and lose his humanity. Use Damien's poison and become a murderer. Run with Marcus and spend his life hiding. Or outsmart a 300-year-old predator. 11:40 p.m. Diana's chanting grew louder. The air felt charged. Jake pulled the vial from his robe pocket and held it behind his back. 11:50 p.m. Diana, he said, interrupting her chanting. She opened her eyes, annoyed. What? I need to know something. The truth. About what? About whether you really love me, or if I'm just another human to add to your collection. Diana's expression softened. Jake, I love you. Then prove it. Answer one question honestly, and I'll go through with the ritual. Ask. If I refused right now, would you really let me go? Or would you kill me? Diana was silent. When she spoke, her voice was almost sad. I'd like to think I'd let you go. But honestly, I don't know if I could. 300 years is a long time to be alone, Jake. You make me feel almost human again. I don't want to lose that, so you'd kill me. I'd do what I had to do to survive, just like you would. There it was. The truth. 11:55 p.m. I understand, Jake said quietly. Diana smiled, believing she'd won. Then let's begin. The clock began to chime midnight. Diana raised the knife and cut her palm. Golden blood welled up, glowing in the candlelight. Drink, she commanded, holding out her hand. Jake leaned forward and made his choice. Jake brought his mouth close to Diana's bleeding palm, close enough that she relaxed. Then he threw Damien's vial directly into her face. Diana screamed. The silver liquid touched her skin and began to burn, smoking where it made contact. She stumbled backward, clawing at her face. What did you do? She shrieked. Jake ran. He grabbed his jeans and bolted from the bedroom. Behind him, Diana hit the floor. He heard her choking, gasping. The poison was working. He ran down the stairs, through the foyer, out the front door. 3 blocks north. Black SUV. Jake ran barefoot down the sidewalk, the white robe billowing behind him. A car honked, 2 blocks. His feet were bleeding. Behind him, a sound that wasn't human. Diana was transforming. 1 block. He glanced back and wished he hadn't. The golden python was slithering after him, massive and terrifying, moving impossibly fast. Her eyes glowed with rage and pain. There, the black SUV. Jake yanked open the passenger door. The driver was middle-aged with silver-streaked hair and burn scars covering half his face. Marcus, get in! Jake dove into the SUV. Marcus floored it before Jake got the door closed. In the mirror, Jake watched Diana transform back, standing naked in the street, screaming his name. They turned a corner, and she was gone. Is she dying? Jake gasped. Marcus's jaw was tight. The poison should kill her within the hour. But Nagas are tough. We need to get far away. They drove in silence toward the Bay Bridge. Jake finally looked at Marcus properly. The burn scars were extensive. Damien did that? Jake asked. No, I did it to myself. After I took the poison, after Damien left me for dead, I was dying. In desperation, I tried to burn it out, set myself on fire. Jesus. It worked. Sort of. The burns were so severe my body went into shock. The shock slowed my heart, which slowed the poison's spread. I survived, barely, and you've been hiding for 15 years, hiding and planning, waiting for the right moment to strike back, by saving me. Marcus smiled grimly. By taking away what she wanted. And if the poison worked, by ending her reign entirely. They crossed into Oakland. Marcus pulled into a diner parking lot. We wait here. If Diana dies, the council will sense it. We'll know within the hour. A waitress stared at them through the window. What if she doesn't die? Then we run. I have safe houses across the country. Jake's phone started ringing. Damien, don't answer, Marcus warned. But Jake answered. Hello? What did you do? My sister is dying. The poison was meant to be a last resort. She gave me no choice. There's always a choice. She's my sister. Whatever her faults, she's my family. And you murdered her. You gave me the poison because I thought you'd use it wisely, not as premeditated murder. Jake hung up. His hand shook. Marcus was typing on a laptop. I'm checking the council's encrypted communications. If Diana dies, they'll mobilize immediately. How do you have access? I learned a lot in 15 years. Marcus's fingers flew. Hear messages coming through. Multiple Nagas reporting a disturbance. Someone dying. Is it Diana? They're not saying the name yet, but Marcus stopped. His face went pale. Oh no, what? It's not Diana. Ice flooded Jake's veins. What do you mean? The Naga who died? It's Damien. That's impossible. I threw it at Diana. Marcus turned the laptop. On it was a message. Damien has fallen. Poised with silver toxin. His sister Diana calls for vengeance. Jake's mind reeled. How? He must have intercepted it. Taken it himself instead. Marcus's voice was grim. He gave you that poison knowing you'd use it on Diana. He was testing you. And when you did, he took the poison himself rather than let his sister die. And when I did, he took it himself to protect her. Marcus slammed the laptop shut. We need to move, now, if Diana's alive. She's coming for you. They ran to the SUV. Jake's phone rang again. Diana. Answer it, Marcus said, on speaker. Jake answered. Diana's voice came through, filled with grief and rage. My brother is dead. He died protecting me from your cowardice. Diana, you were going to murder me. The woman who gave you everything. You gave me no choice, and I'm giving you one now. Come back, face the council, accept your punishment. It will be quick, and if I don't, then I will hunt you for the rest of your life. Every person you love will suffer. Marcus was shaking his head. Or, Diana continued, you can make this right. Come back. Go through with the ritual. My brother died to give us that chance. By becoming your slave. By becoming my partner. Jake, please. I loved Damien. He was all the family I had left. And he died because of you. The least you can do is make his death mean something. Jake looked at Marcus, who was frantically shaking his head. I need time to think. You have until sunrise. After that, the council will issue a death warrant. She hung up. Marcus was already driving toward Interstate 80. Don't even consider it. She's manipulating you, but Damien did die protecting her. It means he was a fool. Diana will never let you be free. What if I could negotiate? There are no deals with Nagas. They drove for an hour. Jake dozed off around Fairfield. When he woke, the sun was rising. They were parked in front of a small cabin surrounded by pine trees. We're here. Welcome to your new life. Jake got out, still in the ceremonial robe, still barefoot. The mountain air was cold. Birds sang. Marcus unlocked the cabin. Inside was sparse, wood stove, small kitchen, 2 cots, supplies. It's not much, but it's safe. Jake sat on a cot and buried his face in his hands. I killed someone. I tried to murder my wife and killed her brother instead. You defended yourself. How do you live with it? Marcus was quiet. Honestly, some days I don't. Some days I think about taking more poison and finishing what I started. Then why don't you? Because that would mean Diana won. Jake's phone rang. His mother. He answered without thinking. Mom? Jake? Oh, thank God. The police called. Diana filed a missing person report. Honey, what's going on? Jake's throat closed up. Jake? Are you safe? Marcus was making urgent cutting gestures. I'm okay, Mom. I just needed some space. From Diana. From everything. Space? You're married. You don't just disappear. Mom, I can't explain right now, but I'm safe. I'm with a friend. I'll call you in a few days. But I love you, Mom. Tell Dad I love him too. He hung up. Marcus looked grim. That was a mistake. Diana will trace that call. She might use your family to draw you out. She wouldn't hurt my parents. You don't know what she'd do. Grief makes creatures unpredictable. Jake's phone buzzed. A text from Diana. I just had a lovely conversation with your mother. She's very worried. I assured her you're fine. I even invited her and your father to stay with me while we sort this out. They'll be here tomorrow evening. We can all wait for you together. Jake showed Marcus. Hostages. She's taking hostages. I have to go back. That's exactly what she wants. I can't let her hurt my parents. Marcus grabbed his arm. Think this through. Even if you go back, what makes you think she let them go? Then what do I do? Marcus sat down heavily. There is one option. One I've avoided for 15 years because it's insane. What is it? Marcus looked up with haunted eyes. We kill the entire council. Jake stared at Marcus. Kill the council? Are you serious? Completely. Marcus walked to a locked cabinet and pulled out a key. He opened it. Inside were weapons. Silver-tipped arrows, vials of glowing liquid, ancient daggers with strange inscriptions. I've been collecting these for 15 years. Every Naga has weaknesses. The council members are old, powerful, but not invincible. And then what? Diana still has my parents. If the council dies, the power structure collapses. Diana would be too busy maintaining order to worry about hostages. We use the chaos to extract your parents. Jake picked up a silver dagger. It was surprisingly light, etched with symbols like Diana's ritual. How do you know all this? Marcus's expression darkened because Diana talked in her sleep, and I listened. I learned everything about her kind, planning for the day I might need to fight back. This is insane. Not the entire council, just the 7 elders. They make the rules, issue the death warrants. Without them, Naga society descends into chaos. 7 of them? Diana, Damien, well, he's dead now, so 6. Plus 5 others. Marcus pulled out a notebook filled with detailed information. I've been tracking them. When do they meet next? Tonight. Emergency session because of Damien's death. They always gather at the ancient redwood when a council member dies. The same tree where Diana transforms? Yes, it's sacred ground to them. A terrible plan formed in Jake's mind. If we attacked them there, we'd be outnumbered. Which is why we need help. Help from who? Marcus pulled out his phone. Over the years, I found others. Humans who survived encounters with Nagas. I've been building a network. How many? 12. Not all would fight, but some would. Jake thought about his parents, walking into Diana's trap. He thought about Damien, who'd died trying to protect his sister. He thought about all the humans before him who'd been manipulated and killed. Make the calls. Tell them we strike tonight. For the next several hours, Marcus worked the phone. Jake listened as he spoke to person after person. Some refused. Too scared, but others agreed. A man in Portland whose wife had been killed. A woman in Reno who'd barely escaped. A former soldier in Sacramento. By noon, Marcus had 7 people willing to fight. It's not enough, Jake said. It's 7 more than I've ever had. And we have surprise. What about my parents? We save them first, before we attack the council. Marcus pulled up a map. Diana's house is here. The redwood is here, 15 miles north. We hit the house while Diana's at the gathering. Get your parents out, then join the attack. What if she doesn't go? She has to. It's council law. When a member dies, all must attend. Jake's phone rang. His father. Jake, your mother and I are very concerned. Diana told us you had some kind of breakdown. Dad, listen carefully. Do not go to San Francisco. Do not get in a car with Diana. Go home and lock your doors. Jake, you're not making sense. Diana seems lovely. Dad, please. Trust me. Diana is dangerous. His father took on that patronizing tone Jake hated. Son, I think you're under stress. Maybe you should talk to someone. Dad, I'm serious. But his father had hung up. Jake looked at Marcus desperately. They're not listening. Then we move now. Forget waiting. We go now. We get your parents. We figure out the rest later. They grabbed weapons and ran to the SUV. The drive back took 90 minutes. Jake called his parents repeatedly. No answer. He called Diana. She answered on the first ring. Jake, how nice of you to check in. Let them go, Diana. They have everything to do with this. They're your weak point, your humanity. Come home, surrender, go through with the ritual, and I'll let them leave unharmed. How do I know you'll keep your word? You don't. But what choice do you have? Marcus was shaking his head violently. I'll think about it, Jake said. Don't think too long. The funeral is tonight at midnight. After that, the council will vote on your execution. She hung up. They arrived in San Francisco around 4 p.m. Marcus parked 3 blocks from Diana's house. No cars in the driveway. Either your parents haven't arrived, or Diana has them elsewhere, or she's already killed them. She won't. Not yet. They're only valuable as bait if they're alive. They waited. At 6:30 p.m., a rental car pulled in. Jake's heart leaped. His parents. They got out, looking tired but unharmed. Diana emerged, playing concerned daughter-in-law perfectly. We need to move now, Jake said. Marcus grabbed his arm. Wait. Something's not right. Jake looked closer. His parents were moving strangely, their gestures too smooth, almost robotic. She's already enchanted them. Look at their eyes. Even from a distance, Jake could see the golden glow. What did she do? Naga thrall. Mind control. They're basically puppets now. Can it be broken? Only if Diana releases them, or dies. Diana ushered Jake's parents into the house. Now what? We wait for her to leave for the funeral. Then we go in. The sun set. Hours dragged. At 11 p.m. Diana's Tesla pulled out. But she wasn't alone. 2 other figures were in the car. She's taking them with her, Marcus said. Why? To keep you from rescuing them, or as offerings. Nagas sometimes sacrifice humans during funeral rites. Jake's blood turned to ice. You have to follow her. That's suicide. I don't care. Marcus looked at him, then nodded. Okay, but we do this smart. We use the weapons. We aim to kill. They followed Diana's Tesla north, toward the redwood forest, toward the ancient tree, towards salvation or their graves. The forest at night was terrifying. Fog thick enough to cut. Trees like giants. Oppressive silence. Diana's car disappeared down the dirt road. They parked and proceeded on foot, weapons in hand. As they got closer, they heard voices. Ancient voices chanting. Through the trees, they saw them. 6 Nagas in human form, standing in a circle around the massive redwood. Diana and 4 others. And in the center, bound and gagged, were Jake's parents. Oh God, Jake whispered. Wait for my signal. We hit them when they're distracted. The Nagas began to transform into massive serpents of different colors. Gold, silver, green, black, white, red. Diana's voice carried, We gather to mourn Damien, who fell protecting our kind from human treachery. The other snakes hissed, and to honor his sacrifice, we offer these humans as tribute. No. Jake started forward, but Marcus yanked him back. Not yet. Diana approached Jake's father, her golden form coiling around him. Jake couldn't watch his father die. He broke free and ran into the clearing, screaming, Stop! 6 pairs of ancient eyes turned toward him. Diana transformed back, standing naked and furious in the moonlight. Jake, you came. I knew you would. The other Nagas transformed, surrounding him. You've broken sacred law, one said, a woman with silver hair. Attacking a council member. Killing one of our own. I didn't kill Damien. He took the poison himself. Lies. Marcus emerged from the trees, weapons in hand. He's telling the truth. I gave him the poison. If you want to punish someone, punish me. Diana's eyes widened. Marcus, you're alive? Disappointed? I thought you were dead. All these years you thought wrong. Marcus raised a silver dagger. Jake, get your parents and run. I'm not leaving you. This isn't your fight anymore. It's mine, the council members laughed. One human with primitive weapons thinks he can challenge us? Marcus smiled. I'm not alone. On cue, figures emerged from the forest. 7 of them, all armed with silver weapons. The Nagas stopped laughing. Tonight, Marcus announced, your reign of terror ends. And then all hell broke loose. The battle erupted. Marcus's team attacked in coordinated strikes. Silver arrows flew. Daggers flashed. The Nagas fought back with terrifying ferocity. One caught a human in its coils. Jake heard bones crack. Jake. Marcus threw him a silver knife. Free your parents. Jake ran toward them. Diana moved to intercept, transforming into her python form. Jake ducked, rolled, came up with the knife. He'd never been in a fight before. But watching his parents' empty eyes gave him strength. Diana struck. Jake barely dodged. He slashed and grazed her scales. Golden blood dripped. Diana recoiled, hissing, You dare? Let them go. Never. Diana's tail whipped around, catching Jake in the ribs and sending him flying. Pain exploded. Probably cracked ribs. But he got up. Because his parents were here. Because Marcus and the others were fighting for him. Around him, the battle raged. One of Marcus's team managed to drive a silver spear through the green serpent's skull. The creature shrieked and collapsed. The other Naga screamed in rage. The fight intensified. Jake reached his parents and started cutting bonds. Mom? Dad? Can you hear me? No response. The thrall held them. Marcus appeared, bleeding from his forehead. Get them to the SUV. I've got Diana. No, you can't fight her alone. Watch me. Marcus faced Diana with calm that came from 15 years of planning. Hello, my love. Miss me? Diana transformed back. Marcus, you survived. I should have known. You tried to kill me. I tried to free you, liar. Marcus threw a dagger. Diana caught it mid-air. The silver blade smoked and burned her palm, but she didn't drop it. You've gotten slow, and you've gotten arrogant. Marcus feinted left, struck right. The second dagger buried itself in Diana's shoulder. She gasped, stumbled. Jake used the distraction to finish cutting his parents free. He tried to lead them away, but they wouldn't move. Only Diana can release them, a voice said. Jake turned. The silver-haired councilwoman, watching with detached interest. Why aren't you fighting? Because this is fascinating. You might actually succeed. Then help us, she laughed. Why would I do that? Because Diana's been abusing her power for centuries. The woman tilted her head. The laws are flexible. Another human fell. But even as he died, he sank a silver arrow into the red serpent's eye. Both collapsed. 4 Nagas dead. Only Diana and one other remained. Marcus and Diana circled each other, both bleeding. Why did you do it? Marcus asked. Why refuse to transform me fully? I did love you. That's why I couldn't. The transformation would have destroyed who you were. You wanted to keep me caged. I wanted to keep you safe. They clashed. Diana's superior strength should have given her the advantage, but Marcus had 15 years of rage. The silver-haired woman spoke. Diana, release the humans from thrall. Diana, locked in combat, spared her a glance. What? Release them. This has gone far enough. Their insurance, they're innocent. Honor Damien's memory by showing mercy. Diana hesitated. In that moment, Marcus struck. The silver dagger went straight through Diana's heart. She gasped, transforming involuntarily between forms. Golden blood poured from the wound. Marcus, she whispered, I loved you. I really did. I know, Marcus said, tears streaming. I loved you too. That's why this had to be me. Diana collapsed. As she fell, the golden glow in Jake's parents' eyes faded. They blinked, confused. Jake, his mother said. What's happening? Jake ran to them, wrapping them both in a hug. It's okay. It's over. You're safe now. Behind him, the last Naga transformed into an elderly man. He looked at the carnage. This council is dissolved. The age of secrecy is over. The silver-haired woman nodded. Agreed. We'll need to restructure. New rules. New ways of coexisting. You're just going to let us go? Jake asked. You've already won. 5 of 7 council members dead. Our power is shattered. She looked at Marcus. Besides, you've proven humans are more dangerous than we gave credit for. Perhaps cooperation is wiser than domination. Marcus walked to Diana. She was still breathing, but barely. The silver was spreading through her veins. I'm sorry, he whispered, for all of it. Diana reached up and touched his scarred face. I'm sorry too, for the lies, for the control, for not letting you be free. Can you forgive me? Can you forgive me? They held each other as Diana died. When it was over, her body stilled and began to fade into golden dust that drifted away on the wind. Marcus stood up. It's done. Jake's parents were still confused. The surviving members of Marcus's team were tending to their wounded. The 2 remaining council members were walking away, disappearing into the forest. What happens now? Jake asked. Marcus looked at him with exhausted eyes. Now we try to live with what we've done. 3 months later, Jake sat in a coffee shop in Seattle, watching rain streak down the windows. His parents were back in Sacramento, their memories carefully edited. They remembered a scary camping trip, nothing more. Tyler still texted, wondering why Jake had divorced Diana so suddenly. Jake told him it just didn't work out. Marcus lived in a cabin in Oregon now. They talked once a week. Neither mentioned Diana. The Naga world had restructured. The silver-haired woman Selene had reached out, proposing a new agreement. Nagas would stop preying on humans. In exchange, humans who knew about them would keep the secret. Jake agreed. What choice did he have? He'd use the money from his joint accounts to start over. New city, new teaching job at a community college. New life. But some nights he still dreamed of golden scales and cold lips. Some mornings he woke up reaching for someone who wasn't there. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Jake Mercer? My name is Sarah. I'm writing a book about supernatural encounters. I heard about you. Would you be interested in talking? Jake stared at the message, then deleted it. Some stories didn't need to be told. He finished his coffee, left a generous tip, and walked out into the Seattle rain. Somewhere in Northern California, a massive redwood tree stood empty, its roots no longer sheltering ancient creatures. The age of the Nagas was ending. And Jake was learning to live in a world both more dangerous and more mundane than he'd ever imagined. Far away, in a forest in Romania, a silver python slithered through the underbrush. It stopped at a clearing and transformed. Damien stood in the moonlight, very much alive, examining his hands. The poison hadn't killed him. It had only made everyone think he was dead, including his sister. He pulled out a phone and made a call. Celine. It's me. Yes. I'm alive. No, Diana doesn't know. Pause. I know what I'm doing. The old ways failed. It's time for new leadership. Time for a new council. He hung up and smiled. The age of the Nagas wasn't ending. It was evolving. And Damien had plans. Big plans. But that's a story for another time.